welcome back once again. This is Rod Powell, and you're listening to the You Should Get a License podcast edition, your number one source for information, education, inspiration on the most underrated career opportunity in business today. That is a career in the insurance industry. Our guest on this episode, very excited, as I was mentioning to her, she's always educating, others on her platform all the way from Alberta, Canada. So this time we're not going across the water, but we are going across the border. She is an insurance broker, an investment consultant, trainer, a life coach, public speaker, a wife, a mother, and a financial literacy enthusiast. I want to welcome her because she is empowering people all around Canada, pretty much everywhere, she comes in contact with individuals. And today she's going to empower us with her story as well. Miss Adeola Monofi. Adeola, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. You?
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, thank you for, taking this time. As I mentioned to you earlier, we see you on social media, just educating about financial literacy and really bringing some information to the people. And one of the things we like to do on this platform is really to, speak to individuals about the different paths that they can take, in the insurance industry, and really, the information that they're going to be empowered with that they can share and improve, their communities with and in the lives of themselves and their families. So I just wanted to start off and really just talk about, your area of specialty, the line of business that you really focus on and what you do on a day-to-day basis, with your clients. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day in this industry?
Okay, so basically my line of business is life insurance and then investment products. So I don't really do anything that has to do with property, at least as of now, right? So it's more of different types of life insurance options, which would include travel insurance, would include medicals, health and dental, and stuff like that. And then on top of that, there are also investment products, which are typically segregated funds. So, and in Canada, we have different kind of plans that are tax sheltered, like the TFSA RRSP, which is like similar to the 401k and Roth IRA, like stuff like that you guys have in the US, right? So basically life insurance products and then investment products as well. So that's basically what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, so with financial services and thank you for making those comparisons between, those who might be listening in the US to those who are listening in Canada. So helping with the retirement plans, making sure that their investments are protected and are managed accordingly and are growing in the direction that they want to grow. You said from a tax deferred standpoint, right? Okay. And then you're probably leveraging some life insurance for some tax-free, maybe stuff down the road, perhaps. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No. Awesome, and great to know. So here's one question I do have before we move on into other topics. So you're calling in from Alberta, Canada, right?
Yes.
Now, Alberta, that's a city? Is that close to the?
Okay, so Alberta is like a province in Canada.
Okay.
So yeah, there's several cities in the province. So specifically, my city is Lethbridge, very close to Calgary. I think Calgary is more
Calgary. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, popular, but the province in itself, it's Alberta.
Got you. Okay. So here's when you say Canada nowadays, everybody thinks about Drake, right? So I'm wondering, is like a Drake sighting in Canada kind of like seeing, a UFO or Bigfoot? Like, do you see Drake in Canada?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Canada is so big, right? It's really, really big. And the provinces are like independent of each other. Like, for instance, when you're getting a license, your license is given to you by your province. If you want to sell products in another province, you need to apply for the license in that province. So each province is like a big territory on its own, like a big state on its own with its different rules. Yeah.
So the licensing in the provinces in Canada would be akin to the licensing of the states.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if you're licensed in one state, you still have to get you. Now let me ask you this question: do you have to take a do you have to take a separate test?
Oh,
Or
no,
okay,
no.
you can just apply.
Once you passed the exams the first time and you have an active license, you can apply for extra provincial licenses without having to write any exams anymore.
Perfect. See, that's the key. That is the key. That you got the one test, and then
you can have several. Yeah.
Continue on with the others. Okay, cool.
Currently, I'm licensed in like 8 different provinces apart from my home province, because thanks to COVID, there are no more territorial barriers. Most people will think, oh, I have to drive long distances and all that. But once I jump on Zoom, I could be in Ontario, I could be in British Columbia, I could be in Saskatchewan. So basically, I'm licensed across the major provinces, and I could actually do businesses in all the provinces outside my own province.
That's a good point. How, the changes like with COVID, with the pandemic, how it kind of opened up opportunities for our business, right? Because there was a time where you wouldn't even do virtual meetings. You go out, you're talking face to face, either if you're going into the work site, to the job, or you're going to the house and you're talking at the kitchen table, whatever it may be. Now it's just, hey, a Zoom or web meeting, and we can get everything done.
Exactly, which is a lot more easier. So it's probably one of the good stuff COVID brought, because before COVID, people were not open to having financial discussions virtually. Like, it just didn't make sense. You have to come to me face to face to talk about my money. But now people don't care anymore, since it's the new way of life, and it's a lot more easier. I don't have to find somebody to babysit my kids, or I have to drive long distances. I can just jump on Zoom, and I'm in Saskatchewan now. The next meeting, I'm in Manitoba, right? So it's really fun.
And what's the time? What's the time difference from Alberta to where?
Okay, so currently in Alberta is 3 till 4. That's Mountain Time, and the time zones in Canada, they are almost 7. Because in Ontario, it's Eastern Time. They're 2 hours ahead. In British Columbia, it is Pacific Time. They're 1 hour behind. Gotcha. We're in the same country. And then there are some places where they are 3 hours ahead of us and 3.5 hours ahead. So it's just scattered all over the place.
Now we're on Eastern Time here.
Okay, so that's same as Ontario.
Okay, same as Ontario. Okay, perfect. Okay. And then like West Coast, we have some of those not 7. I think we got 4. Here, but 7 is quite a bit. So, so Adeola, here's a question that I always like to start with on this platform. Before I started recording, I was just sharing a little bit about, the backstory of this platform, and just kind of sharing about how we actually got into this industry, because we typically have come into it. Typically it wasn't a deliberate plan, from childhood. Although maybe it should have been. So my question to you is, I want you to take me all the way back, 9 years old, 10-year-old Adeola. What did you dream of being when you grew up? Okay,
so I've always loved tough stuff, right? So I wanted to be a pilot, actually. I thought it was boring driving on the road. So I'd rather be flying in the air, right? So that was the initial thing I wanted to be. But by the time I was going to get into college, that was back home in Nigeria. I didn't grow up in Canada. I immigrated here quite recently, right? So back home in Nigeria, when I was getting into college, I decided to become a medical doctor instead.
Pilot to medical doctor, all right.
And then somewhere along the line, I found myself studying microbiology. So my first degree was actually in microbiology. It was after I graduated that I now went and toward the line of insurance, because normally when you're done with college, there's something we call the national service in Nigeria, where you have to serve your fatherland before you can now go to work. And then I was working in the hospital, and I had to do some things with sputum and blood and urine, and it was just so gory. So I was like, oh no, I made a mistake. I don't want to do this anymore. And then that was when, and then actually my dad has always been an insurance professional. It was shattered for many years. And so when I was discussing with him, he just thought, oh, you know what? Microbiology is not even popular in this country anyways, because things don't work here, right? So why not just go into the insurance college? Because you could actually just go into the college and have one full year right there. You do the exams and then you come back and write the professional exams to become chartered. And so that was how I like diverted actually into insurance. And I went to the College of Insurance and Risk Management. All right. And then came out and I thought it was fun. Like, I think I loved working with money better than working with sputum and urine and blood. Yeah. So that's how I got started. And it became really interesting to me. And because I started out because I had that guidance and mentorship from my dad, I basically started out being chartered. So I started out as like a senior management level underwriter in the office back home in Nigeria. And then when I immigrated to Canada, I didn't really want to do anything else. And so when I saw this opportunity where I could actually be a broker, not necessarily be a staff in an insurance company, I thought that was more exciting and interesting. And that was why I decided to, be an independent advisor rather than being one that's actually on the payroll, like captive with a particular company.
Yeah. So you decided to take, the experiences that you had already had, and say, hey, I'm going to take that into an entrepreneurial direction.
Exactly.